So back with another settings guide as usual. I did put this one on the burner for a while, and I'm glad I did. We got a 6.4 gigabyte update, which was like a late day one patch, 10 days late. I think about 3 or 4 days after that we got a 200 megabyte patch, which fixed most of the settings. And then we actually got a smaller patch. I can't remember how big it was, but it switched the settings a little bit again, just tweaked them. So I think from now on, I don't think they would switch it around. So this seems like a good time to get into a settings guide. Yeah, let's get right to it. Obviously, as usual, I'm running at 4K. Pretty much everything I'm targeting ultra. Water quality. So the water is actually really nice looking in this game, but there's not really much of a difference between very high and ultra, and it is demanding. So yeah, this one was actually environmental distance. It just mentioned in the description. It was one of the latest patch. But yeah, I went for ultra. Shadows. So again, there isn't that much difference between very high and ultra on this setting. Even if you wanted to save even more, you could go for medium. So let's go through these. TAA, this is very essential. Use that, definitely use it. Anyone use it. It is essential in this game. I've never seen artifacting like in any game as bad as it does in this one. I turned that down before. I want that on highest. I'd recommend that. The higher the resolution you got, the more sharpness you want on that TAA. Bloom is always off. It's just overexposing light. Motion blur off as usual. Depth of field off as usual. All things that make it look blurry. Lens flare. I'm here and there with lens flare. I'll pretty much always leave it off now. Volumetric lighting. Yeah, on. I would try. We've got both volumetric lighting and light shafts. So pretty much all developers are catching on now that anything like above the standard effect of that is like too much for GPUs to handle, so they're just having it on or off instead of high and ultra and what have you. Rat shadows, I have them on because it looks weird without them on. The blood flies is the opposite because you don't really notice the ground while they're flying about, so you want that off. And advanced, as usual, I'm using FastSync, which is NVIDIA. If you haven't got that on, I recommend it, unless you're using G-Sync over that, or FreeSync or what have you. So adaptive resolution, they changed this around a bit to FPS target. Obviously you want to target your monitor's FPS. So I went with quality here, so that'll drop down to 1800p. I guess if you wanted to absolutely target 60 FPS, which I'm doing stealth, so I don't really need that. I'm not just running into battle and fighting people on the fly. Yeah, so I'd recommend like quality or balanced, basically. So that's about it, except for ambient occlusion. Obviously you want that for depth. And triple buffering off. So as you can see, it's a very demanding area that I loaded up. I'm actually much further than this.
I don't feel safe. What is wrong with this?
It's an early demanding area. There shouldn't be any drops below 45. Ooh, a little bit there. It's the worst I've seen. It's probably the tree here. It's casting all the volumetric lighting and light shafts, what have you, maybe. Or is it just object based? Ah, you can see it there in them objects. Of course, I'm getting 60 now. Weird little area there, which is dropped the FPS, which doesn't seem to be doing it now. Which Oh, got 48 there. Yeah, one thing they patched as well was the VRAM usage,
Be done with it.
is
No
filling
use
my
making
VRAM
trouble.
at the minute. So let's just go around here.
This place. Have I wisdom to convey?
Oh, got a little drop there.
Only know that I am weary. Nothing more.
Run through this building. Yeah, I did mention the shadows before there. I have noticed how glitchy they can be. Like, I've seen some character models that had weird shadows around them. It looked like they'd been down a chimney or something.
Sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't be better to craft will never forget her words. Here in the city, she looked up at me. Instead, they're made in a few locations. Kept from the outsider could be found
Pretty sure
across
this
the
guy's out.
back into the night. She affected out of innocence. What's going on? End of the road for you. Defend yourself.
Try and escape.
Let's see. Know you're here somewhere.
We won't stop until you've been dug from your hole, coward.
Can I get across here? No, I cannot. Oh, I got fired a roof last time, didn't I? So if we go to that.
Is it today that one of my dear brothers will have to blacken my...
Just for performance, as Sam passes Bob.
The carriage rails are electrified.
Thought I'd keep a save just to show the performance.
I told Miss Lucia Pastor that they wouldn't let us take the carriage. Admir's too close.
What would you say to a day at the Botanical Gardens?
Hey, who is...
This seems like a shit site.
Holy shit!
What was that?
No, you get away! Who's there?
Run away.
Back here!
Let's try fighting these guys.
More Grand Guard soldiers. Best to avoid.
Let's finish
Very
it!
good. But that was a good show of performance. I hope this helped, and I hope it saved you time. And yeah, have a good one.